Representative for Chipotle Mexican Grill.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Rachel Markosha. I'm an attorney with the law firm Harris Beach Martha. And as you said, sir, I'm here on behalf of Chipotle Mexican Grill of Colorado LLC. And we're here today regarding the new establishment at 1730 Bedford Avenue. Also with me is Shalise Garcia, who's a very experienced field leader with Chipotle, and she's involved with multiple locations here in Brooklyn.
I'm sorry.
Is that a franchise with all the Chipotle's, right?
It's not a franchise.
No?
It's corporate.
Right.
This is like the meat.
Well, if I could ask, we hold with the questions, let them do that.
Sure,
and then
we're happy to answer any questions, we're happy to be here, so whatever we can answer for you, we're happy to do that. But as you know, we're a fast casual Mexican restaurant. You've probably been to one or more of our establishments, we've got a number of them here in Brooklyn. Very excited about the new establishment. It will have 6 tables, be about 25 seats, so it's a little bit smaller than the average size of a Chipotle. And, essentially, I'm sure you're very familiar with our establishments, so, but, to answer sort of some of the other questions that the other folks just had, it'll basically be, the hours are from 10:45 a.m. to 11 p.m. I don't believe there'll be any live music. I think it's just maybe some background music like in the typical establishments that you've probably been to.
Do you have parking
If we have what?
here? Any kind of parking?
That location will not have parking.
Roof.
It's right in the corner.
That's what.
Empire.
Well, hold on before, I guess, have you
Yeah.
finished with your written questions now? or-
Yeah.
Yeah, we're happy to answer any questions that you have, and Ms. Garcia has actually been to the location and, can answer questions about layout, et cetera, to the extent that you have them.
Okay, excellent. All right, Mr. Wise, we'll start again. Go ahead, do you have any other questions?
No, I mean, I like Chipotle's. I mean, what could go wrong as far as I'm concerned? Except there's no parking there. It's where the old Firestone used to be. That's how long I've been around here, so I know what's been there. And I have no complaint.
So I have a question. I live across the street in the Evansville apartment, 1720 Bedford. So you're saying that Chipotle is not even open now. The building is still being,
Correct, well,
Under
it's gonna be
construction.
open, I think, on November 9th, is that right?
That's
coming November, yes.
November 9th, yes, it's a brand new establishment.
Exactly. And I noticed that they had, for the residential aspect of it, it's gonna be parking. So
It is gonna be parking?
confirming that
No?
there's no parking in that building.
I am not sure. I know for the Chipotle itself, there's no parking.
There's no
I'm
parking.
not sure with the building.
Maybe the Lidl,
Okay.
maybe
It
the
is a
supermarket.
building in construction.
Right, I'm planning to have a meeting with somebody on the residential aspect of it. So I just wanted to reiterate, there's no parking for Chipotle.
Correct.
Thank you. And also, just for the record, I also want to know, a member of Ms. Carr is here as well, so you're on the agendas, for the agendas. Okay, Ms. Hartley, do you have any questions?
Opening 11/9, you said?
Yes.
Okay, just my question is, it's just, I think the reason for the license is you carry beer and then you do make margaritas, correct?
I don't think so,
Not
no.
We haven't sold. We stopped selling margaritas in 2019.
Ah.
Yeah, people still come in and ask for them, but yeah, now it's just
You always
beer.
like to get everything.
I have a core memory of taking my grandmother, who's no longer with us, to the one on Montague, and her being extremely excited that a fast casual restaurant had margaritas.
I probably was too much of a hassle, but you are applying for a liquor license here, so what are you gonna be serving?
It's
Beer,
wine, no,
wine,
wine,
beer,
beer.
Wine, beer, it's fine.
Exactly.
So it'll be small splits of wine, sort of like how Shake Shack does it, or
Not wine, it's just beer.
just beer?
They
Okay, so
normally
just
just do-
Modelo's and Coronas.
About
Okay.
two types of beer and that's it.
Okay.
Any other questions? Ms. Marsh? Ms. Marchand? Ms. Cole?
No?
Okay. All right, hearing no other questions, at this time I will entertain a motion to recommend to the full board to approve the application. Do I have a recommendation? I have moved by Ms. Wolseley.
I'm really curious how they're gonna
And-
accommodate all this new part, this new customers.
Well, you know, many people
And
do.
for the record, I have,
Just
Ms.
this.
Gordon, I have you for the second.
I'll take on the board license. How do you make a corporate decision on where to open a
There's
store?
a lot of.
Well, right now, the company is moving forward to open over 7,000 locations. Yeah, I'm new to this area of Brooklyn. I just started about 2 months ago, and I have 6 locations with that one. They are trying to open one in every couple miles, not too far off, just for all locations to have the same volume, right? Because I know there's some locations that are really busy, and we're trying to remove that, just for everyone to be able to go to the nearest one.
And they do case studies and they buy our research.
Yeah.
And then they find out our patterns.
Right.
And then place them.
Right. I bet I should have seen the pattern of the margaritas.
Gotta talk to corporate about that.
It was
I-
bigger issues.
Yeah, I think it was also the leaving with liquor issue, which is a New York blue law, and so that's where some of that came in.
This
as well.
decision was
Right.
removed.
And so then what the upgrade was the mocktails and the flavored lemonades, which gave some higher level gave a higher level to it, but then not having it. But not many people really sort of, I felt, utilized that as well. Except for me and grandma, maintenance.
All right.
Rest
then.
in peace.
Okay, so we have a motion on the floor, moved and seconded. Is there any objection to adopting the motion by common consent?
None.
Okay, hearing no objection, the recommendation is adopted by the committee, common consent. All right, so it's going to go on before our executive committee, so they will review the application. I don't think there'll be an issue with that. The board meeting is scheduled for next week, Wednesday, the 17th.
You have to come.
Yes, it's going to be at 7 p.m. All applicants are required to come. Very brief. This is going to be hello, introduce yourself, very quick introduction to the community in terms of that. Okay. All right. So thank you very much for
Thank you
coming
very
this
much for your
evening.
time. Have a great evening.
And we'll see you next week.
What happened to Wolf Pup?
I'm right here.
Of course.
Last
I
but not
knew you were
least.
representing somebody here.
So last but not least.
Hi, my name is Michael Campbell. I'm here to
We know
represent
you.
Yeah.
Wolf Pup.
What else do you've been here before?
Hold on, let me just to keep this official. Just to keep this official, let's read it for the record. So last applicant, Wolf Pup Bar LLC,
Right.
located at 447 Rogers Avenue.
Yes, sir.
Between Lefferts Avenue and Lincoln Road.
Mhm.
This is for a new liquor, wine, beer, and cider license.
Yes,
correct?
sir.
Okay, all right, now.
So I will start out with telling you about the owner. The owner name is Josh. He's a member of this community for about 20 years. He's worked in probably every establishment within the neighborhood. With that being said, he's been able to learn all the benefits from the owners and all the negatives from the owners, and he's decided to venture out on his own, and he's created a staff of neighborhood folks. At this point in his life, he's considered a master bartender, and the human being he's starting with is also a sommelier. So they're trying to create a really sophisticated space in the old 47, which was Andre Mack's space and Sons on Rogers Avenue. They just want to get an okay to get a full liquor license to create a little unique space for the community.
All right then, we will take questions from the committee members. Ms. Carr, no, because I skipped a couple of times. Ms. Carr, do you have any questions for the applicant?
Not at the moment.
Okay, Mr. Wiseman?
I saw the spot, there's a stairwell that goes up to, I went there yesterday, there's a stairwell that goes up to the residence of the building, right?
Yes,
So, are you just taking one side of those?
there's only one side to the space. The other side is still vacant. So this is
Oh, so those are actually two separate stores,
Yeah,
so you're
yeah,
just
they-
gonna have one of the little ones?
No more than 16 seats.
400 square feet.
Yeah, so it's a tiny space.
And outside,
No outside seating.
no outside thing. What's the age of your crowd you tend to have there?
Well, I mean, the legal age of drinking is 21, but for what he does and crowd caters to, it's going to be over 28 years old, I imagine, and more sophisticated
Because you're
cocktails.
familiar with what happened on Franklin Avenue.
Yeah. Now,
So-
that's a whole different scenario there. That's a nightclub, that's a restaurant trying to be a nightclub.
It makes the board look bad when things like that happen, you know, you give them a liquor license and then they go and do something like that, you know.
Well, again, that's a restaurant trying to do too much. They're a
But
restaurant.
the thing
trying to
was,
be a
from what I
liquor
heard, they were catering to an older crowd and never had a problem, but then they ended up catering to the younger crowd,
Right.
and that's where things went.
Right, because they decided to be a nightclub in the evenings and go till 4 o'clock in the morning.
Ms. Hartley?
So where else have you represented? Because when you came here, I was like.
I
what do you
represented in several spaces. There's a few different spaces I represented. Red Chicone,
You were here for the Trini place? No?
No,
Okay,
Pluto Lounge.
there we go. Okay,
And a few others I've been here for.
okay.
The one on Parkside?
Parkside, right, as well. He's yet to get his license because financially he's not ready to pay for that bill. So he's yet to get
How much
that
is the
license.
license cost now?
For on premise, it's gonna be $4,096.
And that's for how long?
2 years.
The South Beach, Miami, liquor license is $65,000.
Wait, what?
$65,000.
Well, if you're on South Beach, yeah.
On
Florida.
Collins or
They'll
Ocean?
take their money back.
Well, yeah.
So you have some.
Well, hold on. If we can, I just wanna make sure we're going in
No,
order.
no other questions.
Okay, Ms. Wilson?
Okay, I think I have two, just so I have it or so we can have it on the record. Your hours.
Yeah.
Can you provide me?
Yeah, the hours are gonna be 5 to 11 during the week, and on the weekends it's gonna be 5 to midnight. Again, as I said, this gentleman has worked for several businesses in the neighborhood, so he understands the pitfalls of staying up too late and dealing with the noise violations and the problems that stem from that. He's a family man of 2 children, so he needs to get home to his babies in the night.
Okay, and the last thing is.
Is that a 2 or a 1?
You said 11, so I'm assuming it's 11.
11, it's 11.
Yeah.
5 to 11 from Monday to Thursday, and Fridays, Saturday it's gonna be midnight, and then Sunday back down to 11.
Okay, my next question is, I guess it's the last question before applicant history. Can you read this sentence? It's a little blurry.
Based on that background music, no outside space.
Oh, I need to stop, sorry, I'm still in work mode.
So it says it's gonna be only background music,
Okay.
right, no outside spaces. no.
Okay, thank you. Okay, no more
Questions? Any questions?
Thank you.
Ms. Gordon?
I do not. Please, we have the hours on. When does he expect to open?
Well, again, these are tricky. Liquor license in New York City can take a little while, so anywhere between, I would say, 4 to 7 months.
Oh, so until then, he's not even opening his doors?
No,
Because
he's simply doing renovations right now. He's
Right,
gonna take
right.
his time to do renovations. See,
Right.
that's the trick though. Most
Right,
of these guys
right.
have to pay these rents
Right,
while
because
they
it's
renovate.
not, it's not like a full-on restaurant and then
No,
you're like.
No, so
Okay,
it's,
sorry,
you know, it's whimsical food, so it's not a full restaurant, so you won't be open till like the license come true.
Are there a couple of other bars on the same block?
Not on the same block, a little bit over. The green room
Is a
is
block away?
yeah, it's about 496 feet away. There's also
Barbarino's right across the street. Not
Which one?
The Barbarino that was here earlier.
a little further down.
And
Yeah, a little further down. The closest space to it would be
There's a lot of liquor
Um,
going on over there.
the corner of Maple, which would be the No Name.
Yeah.
And then Trova, the restaurant.
Right, but still a little further down. That's a little further. That's more than 500 square feet away.
For a New Yorker, 500 square feet is 20 seconds.
Well, I'm going by what the liquor license requests and all that stuff. So yeah.
And that, the former space was sort of a crudo, charcuterie.
Yeah, it was and
wine,
Sons. It was
cheese, yeah.
it was definitely what they call a ham bar.
Right.
Right.
Ms. Mochi, I'm sorry, were you finished with the questions?
You
Yeah,
feel-
yeah, yeah.
Okay, Ms. Cohen, you had a question? You know?
Yeah. So, I'm like a little bit of a stickler of people that fill out these applications and I get a little confusing, like with
Sure.
Marino, was like completely different things than what the application said, which bothers me a lot, because what's written on the application is what goes into record. So I don't like the thing says at 12 and then he says he closes at 8. I don't like that. I want to just put on record that I'm not happy with that. The application should say what is actually happening in the restaurant. So with all that said, I just want to say that it does say the COO has, includes a back and a side yard for use.
Where?
Right? Does the premise have a valid CFO for all programs, including the side and the back?
Yeah, there's a CFO, but there's no backyard,
Well,
there's
how-
no side yard.
How can it,
That's-
how can it be in the CFO?
Well, I think the CO is, there's no backyard in that space, absolutely. If you visit the space, there is no backyard, there's no side yard. It's,
It's under a building,
Did
yes.
you see it?
Yeah, I mean,
Well,
look,
I think the
have a
CFO,
picture.
the CFO describes the entire building. Whether we have access to the backyard and the side yard, that's absolutely not. So we do have a
Says
legit,
including for any back or side yard use.
we don't have a backyard or a side yard. We do have an active CFO, and if the
So why
CFO,
was it checked? Can you see anything in the back?
No.
No,
Right, so is there a backyard or not?
no, there is absolutely no backyard for this
So why is
space.
it checked? Yes, like I'm so confused.
Because it's included.
Right, if the space has a backyard, but do the business have access to that CFO, that
That's
backyard?
the
No.
premise, the premise, meaning this restaurant has the premise, have a certificate of occupancy and all appropriate permits, including for any back or side yard use, yes.
The
But
premise.
even if it didn't, he would still check yes.
Why?
The
Because
way
we-
I read this is just me, the way I read it, it includes that. So even if it didn't include it, he would still check yes, because the way the question
But
is
then that means
worded,
it has to have it, if
I
it's.
think the question is worded a little, it's not worded
Yeah,
to
well,
not include
We
it.
spoke about this a
But
lot of times.
I hear you, but I think the way you
I
read the
just-
question,
Right,
it includes the backyard and side yard.
right, which means there must be a backyard and side yard.
Not with the premise that is being rented, the building,
The building must have it because it's in the
Right.
CFO, I know the CFO.
but is a
can't have
CDO,
it.
that's also part of a DOE and to make sure
Right.
that FDNY is making
But,
sure.
Absolutely.
but what I think the applicant's putting on the record is they are not
They're
using
not
the
using
back.
it.
Backyard.
They're not using it.
And we do have a legitimate CFO, because without a CFO,
That's what
we
I'm saying.
cannot open up a business.
course.
Right.
Okay, all right.
Okay.
Are there any questions, Ms. Gorin? All right, so hearing no other questions, I will entertain a motion to approve the application, to go to the full board. I have moved by Ms. Hartley. Do I have a second?
I would second it, but can we have a legible hour?
Yeah, so it's 5 to
No,
11.
I agree with you, that's why I said,
These
can we put it on the
applications are
record?
really-
and-
So it's 5 to 11, I'll have Mia corrected, it's legitimately 5 to 11, and do it on the weekend, from Friday to Saturday is 5 to 12. It's probably been my mistake or the way the copy came out, but it's definitely 5 to 11 and 5 to midnight.
If we could just resubmit that page with the.
Yeah, absolutely.
And also correct this,
What you had asked, right?
this space, it's a little blurry.
All right, I'll type that out actually for Mia to.
Yeah, I'm just thinking about when it goes
Yeah,
before it's
absolutely.
full committee.
Absolutely, we'll fix anything that is required.
I'm thinking that the SLA should stop having handwritten applications and just have PDFs in which they.
Well, for the liquor license itself, there is no handwritten
Right,
moments.
so only this part is
Only this
handwritten for the
part, so if
community.
you guys require that, then
Right.
that's something needs to be said.
Yeah.
Well, that's something we're looking into,
Yeah.
so we'll address
For
that.
the last 2 years.
Yeah, we'll address that. But, okay, so we have a motion on the floor. Is there any objection to adopting this by common consent?
With just those amendments.
Yeah.
Yeah, with those changes.
All right, I'll
All
make
right,
sure Mia
hearing
has
none.
it tomorrow.
Motion is adopted. So, yes, again, so I think you heard the spiel. We're gonna be meeting again.
The 17th.
Yes, we need representation for.
I'll be there.
Perfect. Okay, all right. We've gone through items 1 through 6. Just a couple of quick notes before we go. All right, 1. welcome back, everyone. One of the things, and I'm happy that most of the people who are here, we are picking, you know, there's gonna be some consistency between the things we discussed last year, we're gonna pick back up. To your point, Ms. Cohen, I know that we have the framework that we're working on. It just got really difficult to take care of it, but that is still on the agenda to get that framework up so that we can get it before the committee and before the board. So we can streamline some of the questions and issues that we've been talking about. So to the point of standardizing hours, to the point of a consistent form that really more clearly outlines some of these things. Having consistent hours, because I think it's good for us to be able to say, listen, you know, this is the ceiling, this represents the ceiling. And answer some of those questions in terms of, you know what, if somebody wants to, you know, if you're allowed to stay up until 12, if that's your ceiling, 12 o'clock, would you open until 8? Okay, maybe that's a question, that's fine. If you want to go past 12, that's against what we actually approve. So, but that's a conversation we will have as we approve that final framework. We're going to do that. There's going to be a training.
On
Borough Hall-
September 30th.
Yes, there's 30th to 29th. I have to,
That's the day before my birthday, so it was the 30th.
I will go with you on that one then. But there is going to be a training from Borough Hall. I'm going to talk to Dante to make sure we can send the link out so that way everybody can get it. Because we think it's important for us to understand the SLA application
Tuesday,
process.
September 30th at 6 p.m.
Thank you very much. So we're gonna make sure, I'll talk to the district office to make sure that goes out to all the committee members, but to the board as well. I think it's important for
And
us to
it's via
understand.
WebEx.
Yes.
Still uses WebEx.
I do.
Well, it's the city.
No, the city makes us use Teams.
Yeah.
Well, and WebEx.
And WebEx.
And WebEx.
But yeah, but I think this is something that we've been talking about for a while, and we're gonna provide this opportunity to take care of that, to attend that and learn as well, and hopefully get some questions in. So that way it'll inform our conversation when we get back to the framework. You know, it came up this evening with regards to Taste of the City, in terms of what happened with that, tragic incident. Part of the aside from that, the tragic loss of life, I think part of it is administratively, that was one of the nightmares that we've been talking about as a board, where all this nonsense is happening in the background. And I think we want to discuss as a board and as a committee as well, how do we address that? How do we monitor that? How do we make sure we're able to, keep tabs so that way, because I think the gentleman put it very well. It's like they were, a restaurant trying to masquerade as a nightclub. So we want to make sure we nip those things in the bud. We have a reporting structure, or we have a way of keeping track of when these things are going on. I always ask for grace for people when they come, because they're entrepreneurs, they're trying to make $1, and I don't necessarily want to stop that. But at the same time, if people don't want to be good partners and honest neighbors and good partners in the community, we need to be able to put our foot down on that one.
This is also not a neighborhood of 4 a.m.
Well, yeah, no, and that's something I think has been very clear, and we'll vote on that one when we do the framework. I think we've been very clear in terms of it. I think we've been trying to be more consistent about a time before that.
But here's the thing, we'll be consistent about it.
Mhm.
And then we take it to our peers on the board who fluctuate in their ideologies, and then that switches. And then, if not that the case, then we have lobbyists in regards to the actual board. So we fight the good fight.
Right.
And then we know that there's tiers to it, because we will align on something which happened back in May, and then we have other people in the board in our general meeting who sometimes just say yes to say yes. They have a different component of why they're on the board, and as it should, because we are a cornucopia of individuals. But a lot of them get in their cars and they go to other neighborhoods that they wouldn't dare have anything open until 4 o'clock. But they believe in small business or whatever it is that they believe in. And so we've seen that. And then you have some people who are just being contrarian to dominant personalities, and they just want to do it. And then we have other individuals who are transplants, who I always say being on the community board is their study abroad. And in 5 years from now, they'll have a cocktail party and talk about the bid that they did in CB9. I'm not even trying to be funny.
Right.
No,
It's the
understood, but and to those points, but that's all part of the conversation we are having. Part of the challenge has been around that is because we haven't had a consistent policy around that.
Right.
And part of this conversation
And we
is
spoke about the wireframe.
we're going to have a policy. So we're not debating, 3:30, 4 o'clock, 2:15, whatever it is. Once we've established that and it gets voted on by the board, that's what the policy is. So the board is voting on this, we're not gonna entertain all this nonsense, well, I wanna try and move to get to 4 o'clock. No. The policy is 4 o'clock because that's what the board has voted on. And the same thing, I think if we're consistent with that, it lets anybody, any applicant come before the board understand, this is what it is. During a weeknight, this is when you need to shut down. On a weekend, this is when you need to shut down. This is what we're gonna approve.
Well, did we really make a dent in this place on the corner of
Carol, Crown
Crown
and Ocean.
and Oster? They haven't opened, you know?
But you know, but
I mean, it's not,
I don't
can
wanna
we
read
ourselves
too
on the
much
back,
into that.
or-
Well, that's the thing, I don't wanna read too much into it, because I think the gentleman just said, even after they go past us, some of these applications, liquor license things go for months. So I don't wanna say that we did something, or they might just be waiting on paperwork.
Right, or
So-
they're waiting for the gas lines,
Yeah, there could be any number of things that are happening.
construction holds up.
Right, but I definitely wanna make sure that we're better informed about how this process works, and part of that framework we were working on is what's the follow-up, how do we check on these things? So that's important, business way.
Yeah, I just wanna, let the board know that I'm available, I'm retired. Anytime I get bored, I'm willing to go out and survey anything that you guys may need. You know, I guess you call it eye spying or whatever, but,
Just being a good citizen of the
Canvas,
community.
canvas.
And canvassing, and you're actually
that's a
doing
better
research,
word.
yeah.
Okay, I'll go out and canvas.
Canvas.
Like I did yesterday, I went and canvassed the 3 spots that we
They've been
had,
doing it,
you know.
yeah.
Yeah, we've been
Right.
doing
I
No,
drink so
it-
much
Well,
in the neighborhood.
there's probably
I
certain
don't have
places
to.
you guys wouldn't go that I'm willing to go, you know what I mean?
You'll force yourself.
They go?
They go.
Oh,
It's just
well,
been-
then
they
I
may
guess
not
y'all
even
don't
look
need me
at-
then.
They may
Okay.
not even
Understood.
look
No,
at it.
and thank you for that, and those are the kinds of things that are appreciated as well,
Yeah,
because
we've
you
been
know.
in every cannabis place, like, we're everywhere.
Because again, you're
With-
just canvassing,
Mm.
right? You're just
Yeah, like
canvassing.
basic license,
As we should, especially.
Okay, but again, those are gonna be continuing conversations, we're working on the wireframe, trying to get that out, continuing conversations. Again, going back to the idea of the parade, I'm still doing follow-up with the city with respect to that, because again, this is the second year we're talking about
That's
this.
a huge problem.
And part of the issue, and I'll share this with the committee, part of the problem I had was, I had a conversation with NYPD and I told them, let us be a part of that. And I didn't find out about the meetings until about 2 weeks before the parade. So that is something that we are looking to correct.
Can we be honest here? Well,
You haven't been?
I apologize for
No.
making that statement.
No.
Partially, we go into a break, right? And so that's where, and they're planning for this, well, they budget for it the fiscal before. And then the actual execution takes place a few
Right.
weeks before, part one. Part two is like they said, this is one of the larger details, right? The breakdown. You've got the UN, you've got Thanksgiving Day Parade, all the other ones. And that, then we're also doing with the component and the thought process of the NYPD, and it's selective and how they interact depending upon the community and the demographics. And then also, they're gonna execute it and do however they please, a lot of times, with even actually getting the correct input from many people. And that is why repetitiously, year after year, we're seeing individuals that you show someone an ID, and it's a government ID, and they're looking at it and they don't believe it. And also, we have many people in here who are transplants or staying, and they may not have an ID that's reflective of the neighborhood. And we also deal with individuals that are not always using, they're driven off of the power, right? And not exactly aligning and following the CPR, right? Courtesy, professionalism, and respect. That's a larger scale aspect. In the years that I've been on this earth and seeing it, and then it's not just 71, right? We deal with all these other individuals. Listen, I don't go to the parade. I always go to the gym the morning of, and then I walked around the corner, and they had food sellers, and there were officers like right in front of these two vendors, and no one always wants to go. And if you have a officer just standing there, I don't care.
Yeah.
And then I go up to the vendor and I'm asking her, do you have Peoria? Do you have Bus Up Shot? And I'm ordering, and then like there's literally officers right behind me hoovering, and I'm like, I'm buying carbs, to make light of it, but hoovering, and I'm like, you're creating an intimidating situation. The vendors are now, intimidated. Customers are intimidated, and this is just for someone who's just me, right? So imagine other individuals, and then I had to ask one of them, "Oh, did I skip you on the line?" Because
Why
you excuse my language, you all in my ass, and so
Yeah.
those things have been happening continuously, and it is something that I think we want to import them, even with DOT, and when it comes up to holidays and they block off streets.